Soft tissue work on the hip flexors is better achieved with some type of trigger point device, whether it's a so-right, lacrosse ball, softball, even a kettlebell, so it can go deeper into the muscle group. For this one, we're gonna work right here above, and then actually down here right below the bones in the pelvis. You set it up on the ground, and literally just going to lay on top, get a position right above, and relax my body weight on top of the so-right, and I'm just letting the trigger points press deeper and deeper into the muscle while controlling my breathing. After working there more through the belly, I can readjust it, take it to a lower point on the hips, and press into it with the same strategy. So for this pretzel stretch exercise, what we're going to do is lay back, pull the knee up to 90 degrees, bring it across the body, and then I'm going to pull this leg back, and now I'm holding this position. I'm going to pin the knee down. I'm going to take a deep breath and try to open through the spine into the hips, and relax as I breathe out. Breathe in, drive back into the ground, relax and breathe out. Holding for about 5 seconds with each rep. The next exercise in our hip alignment series, we're going to take a PVC pipe and thread it through the legs. So I'm here and here, and what I'm going to do is drive this knee this way, drive this knee this way. So I'm moving the hips in opposite directions. I'm going to press into it and fire, hold it, hold it, hold it, and relax. I would then switch and perform the same exercise threaded through the other side. Set and press, pressing into it, hold it, and relax. After working in that plane of motion, I'm then going to bring a roller or a yoga block, something I can squeeze in the middle. So I'm now pinning the roller between the knees, a good base with my feet. I'm going to tighten the core and then squeeze into the hips, trying to smash the roller and create tension. Relax. The final exercise for our hip alignment is we're going to take a gray band, step all the way into the band, bands around the waist, kind of walk it out so it has tension. I'm going to let my hips dip back and then press forward and squeeze, hold, locking out the glutes before I tip the hips back and reset to the start position. I'm trying to tilt the pelvis as I lock forward, hold it, and relax to tip it back. For this hamstring and groin series, we're going to work a double band knotted together. Great use for old bands that you might be using for speed work or different activities kind of once they're past their prime in the weight room. So we have a knot on the band. We're going to hook it underneath the bench, and then I'm going to lay back onto the bench and get set up, positioning my feet into the band. From here, I'm pressing the top. Notice I have the band tracking over my shoulders to help hold it in the start position. I'm going to alternate and kick down, always resetting both legs here in the middle at the top. Keeping the core tight. Low back is also pinned to the bench, so I can focus on kicking and controlling the hamstring down and up. From there, I'm going to open into circles, so I'm going to open out wide, bring it in, back through the top, opening through the hips, and then I will reverse it, same thing on the hips, but take it in the opposite direction. For the band hip flexor stretch, band is attached in a low position. I'm going to step into the band, pull the band up so it's directly underneath the glute, And then this leg that it's attached to, I'm going to put that knee down. I now have tension into the band. I'm going to lean forward and squeeze the glute, stretching into the hip flexor. It's important that I don't want to overarch my back, but I focus on the stretch again from here to the glute, squeezing the glute, and letting the hip press forward. For the hip flexor lift over, I need to sit up in a tall, good posture position. This exercise is way too easy if I lean back. So I'm sitting up straight, tall, core is engaged, and I'm going to lift up and over the top, lift, and bring it back to the start. Again, sitting up tall, core is tight, lift, over the top, control, back to the start. Performed on both sides. For this glute activation exercise, I'm going to lay down on my chest, flat to the turf. I'm going to bend at 90 degrees. This exercise is not about how high I can lift off the ground, but about squeezing the glute and holding the tension. So I'm set here to the ground. I'm going to drive up, squeeze the glute, hold it, hold it, hold it, and relax back down. Again, set from the glute, pressing back, heel toward the sky, hold, 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 and relax back down. This is a single leg glute bridge with an iso hip flexor hold. So what I'm going to do is hook the red band around my foot here. I'm going to pull the band back into tension so the hip flexor is firing from an isometric standpoint. And now I'm going to press through the heel, bridge up, hold the bridge at the top for about 5 seconds, and control it back to the bottom. Still keeping tension on the hip flexor for the full duration of the set. I'm going to work a band hip drive with a very slow and controlled eccentric contraction on the way back down. So I'm going to lock my core in nice and tight, stand up tall, drive forward into the hip, slow and controlled as I reset back to the bottom. Again, core's tight, everything's up tall, driving forward through the hip, slow, slow, slow and controlled, back to reset. This is called the couch stretch. This is a great quad and hip flexor stretch. What I'm doing is I have one foot hooked on the bench. This leg in front, I'm going to lean forward, squeeze the glute, and press into the quad and hip flexor.